All right, folks, a new COVID variant is alerting the Biden administration, calling for folks to exercise renewed caution about the virus. The two new highly transmittable variants, BA.4 and BA.5, are spreading rapidly across the country. BA.4 and BA.5 are offshoots of the Omicron strain responsible for nearly all of the virus spread in the United States and are even more contagious than their predecessor. Now, again, folks are walking around as if COVID is all over, but it is not. Essence Festival pretty much became a super spreader event as a number of people have come down with COVID. I've talked to at least a dozen people who came back from New Orleans with COVID. Two of my staff members came down with COVID. Luckily, the rest of us did not. And folks, so to understand this variant and how easily transmittable it is, we're joined right now by Dr. Justin Turner. He's the CEO of Turner Care and the youngest and first black person to be the chief medical officer of Mississippi. Glad to have you back on the show, Doc. And so I was talking to some friends in Los Angeles this weekend, brothers and sisters. They were talking about how awful they were feeling, how bad it was. I saw this tweet where this one doctor said a lot of his MD friends were like, we're going to tough this thing out. It got so bad for them, they actually went and got Paxlovid. Another sister I talked to, she's in her early 30s. She could not get Paxlovid. They said because of her age, so they gave her a Z-Pack. But then I talked to a brother who got COVID in New Orleans. He's 70, and he said that he was prescribed Paxlovid. And so what is it about this BA.4 and B.5 strain that is so dangerous?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks so much for allowing me to come on the show today. So the BA.4 and the BA.5 is a new subvariant, and compared to the previous variants that we know that COVID has produced, this one appears to escape. It appears to not have the same ability to be improved from having a prior infection, because you have some patients who have had COVID in the past and they kind of built up this immunity, which kind of protected them for about 90 days or so. So we're seeing a lot of patients who are basically having reinfection and they're not having the same protection from the natural immunity. Even patients who've been vaccinated, we're seeing that these two particular variants are escaping that as well. So the protection that our nation has been afforded from either having a prior COVID infection or being vaccinated or being boosted, we're not seeing the same level. All right. Now, there still is some protection, but compared to all of the other variants, for whatever reason, the particular variants of the BA.4 and the BA.5 is not giving us the same protection. And I don't want to jump too far ahead, but right now, we have scientists that's working to try to work on a particular booster that specifically targets omicron, which has more, things on the spike protein, which are allowing it to be more contagious. Now, the good news is we're not seeing the same level of deaths compared to before, but hospitalizations have increased, cases have increased. Matter of fact, hospitalizations have doubled since May. But like I said, on the good side, we're now seeing probably about 300 deaths a day compared to last winter, where we were seeing about 3,000 a day.
So now, do you think that's because of the number of people who at least had one or two doses?
Yeah, I think the latest studies show probably about a third of the United States have had, the first booster. Now, here in Mississippi, I'm not sure how it is in other places. We don't have the same level of urgency with getting the second booster as we did with the first booster. And we're not even seeing the same, or we didn't see the same level of urgency with the first booster as we saw with the first and second vaccination. I've had some patients that say, hey, look, I think I'm going to wait on that. I think I'll be okay. And I'm asking them, the same mindset that led you to get the first and the second vaccination, what's different about that same mindset to get boosted? Because what we do know is the current boosters that we have, it looks like the protection is only lasting about 4 months. And after about 4 months, the immunity, is appearing to wane down. And when you have new variants such as the BA.4 and the BA.5, which appear to be more contagious, is even more important to try to make sure that you get vaccinated. So one thing, Roland Martin, that I see is a lot of COVID fatigue. And I honestly see a lot of people who are tired. They feel as if COVID is improving or it's over. We've had like the some of the restrictions were lifted. You don't have to test in and test out going out of the country to everywhere now. You have certain things that have changed, and I think it's given a lot of people a false sense of security to think that things are over, things are better. But no, you can be tired, but COVID is not. And it's still here, and we still need to be, cautious. All right, so we don't have to be fearful, but we still need to be careful.
Well, and I do think what you just described is real. Folks are kind of like, all right. I mean, once the federal judge stopped them from pushing the mask mandate on planes, folks are like, all right, I'm good, I'm good. And so, I mean, I was on the plane flying back from LA on Monday. I've flown a lot in the last month, and I can tell you the number of people who are just sitting on planes like it's no big deal, no mask whatsoever. And okay, that's fine. I get it. I mean, there have been times when places where I've gone where I didn't have my mask on. I had it with me. Depending upon the groups I was with, I might put it on, I might take it off. But here's the deal. I'm talking to people, and they're talking about how sick they have gotten. And as somebody who's had COVID twice, I'm just not interested in going through that crap again.
Yeah, it does appear that these particular variants they may penetrate the lungs more than what we saw before, and each variant has been different. We saw early on how a lot of people had loss of taste and smell, and I think in my practice with Omicron and what a lot of providers have seen here in Mississippi, Omicron kind of impacted the sinuses more. We had like so many patients who come in and say, "Look, doc, I just need my sinus shot. Let me get my Decadron. Give me some sinus medicine, and I'll be on
Yeah,
my way."
I mean, I'll probably say the second time I got it, it was back in May. It really it wasn't significant. It really was in the sinus. But again, I'm talking to folks right now, and they're talking about lungs, how
Lungs.
this variant is going right after their lungs.
Yeah, so we really just need people to be vigilant. If you have anything going on that's not normal, and here's the deal. With the new variants being like way more contagious compared to like the Delta variant and other ones before, man, you can spread this like wildfire through your family at home, at church, or at a large indoor gathering before you even have symptoms. When you think about the incubation period and your level of being able to, spread this, I mean, it can happen before you even go get tested. And I unfortunately have had a lot of patients they've waited to like day 3, day 4, day 5 after trying stuff at home, and they're like, well, let me go and get tested. But by that time, they've already spread it to so many people. So, like I said, we're fortunate right now because it doesn't appear to be as deadly as like the Delta variant. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in the fall? We don't know. So we just need anyone that's listening to know that if you have any symptoms at all, matter of fact, go ahead and get tested. Now, fortunately, compared to last year, a lot of people have access to your home COVID test. If you hadn't gotten them, go ahead and get those, and go ahead and get tested.
Especially the free ones the government is giving out.
Exactly. It's like if it costs a whole bunch, we'd be complaining saying it's expensive, but it's free, and a lot of households are not even taking advantage of it, and that has saved so many different lives because those patients would probably be where in my office, in the lobby, waiting to get tested and spreading it. But now they're at home, they're getting tested, they're calling me, and you brought up the Paxlovid. So this is also something that's different compared to last year. We have more medications out there that are helpful, and without trying to get too deep in the science, a lot of people are familiar with Tamiflu. So we know historically, anytime you get the flu, there's an antiviral called Tamiflu that you can take that works best if it's taken within 48 hours of your first symptoms. Well, Paxlovid and other antivirals are kind of similar to that. All right. So if you do get diagnosed with COVID, know that there are more options now compared to what we had, a year ago. And it's basically for people who have mild to moderate COVID and are at high risk of having, complications or being hospitalized. Everyone is not eligible for it, but talk to your doctor. All right. Not Google, not Facebook. Talk to your doctor to help determine if you're a candidate. Because like you said with your friend Roland, everyone can't take it because there are some specific drug interactions that's out there. But when I tell you that the alternative is so much worse as far as COVID, and not just COVID. a lot of people have long COVID. We're seeing anywhere from 10 to 30% of people who are diagnosed with COVID having problems 2, 3, 4 months down the road. And the more you get reinfected, like studies are showing that if you get COVID a second and a third time, you are at higher risk of having long COVID down the road and brain fog. I mean, I got people that are in high functioning executive positions. That's like, Doc, my clarity is not like it was before. I'm having trouble leading my meetings. A lot of people, are underestimating the totality of long COVID, but we see it, and it's not something that you want. So please get your booster if you're eligible for it. If you hadn't been vaccinated, it's not too late. And just know that, do your part. Do your part.
All right, then, Dr. Justin Turner, I certainly appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
All right, have a good one. Thanks so much for having me.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?